With every day that passes, my hope in humanity dwindles even more. And at some point, if you're working in fast food or in retail or something of that nature, you get used to stupid customers complaining about stuff that's out of your control. So this encounter today isn't all too crazy compared to some other shit that happens, but I still feel is worth mentioning because I need people to understand that there are just some things that we as the employees cannot rectify. So as I'm sure most of you know, most fast food restaurants nowadays have these mobile apps where you can order food and whatnot. And a big part of this particular establishment is that instead of using physical coupons, you can get deals for free food on the mobile app, right? So it's just like virtual coupons essentially. And let me just go ahead and say this, if you're getting free anything from any company, then you're the product. All right, it doesn't sound so nice when you put it like that, now does it? So anyways, it was pretty early in the morning, no later than 10 a.m. And I just clocked in, right? And, I'm in a relatively good mood because I haven't slowly lost my shit throughout the day. So this couple comes in and I'm taking their order at the front. And so he orders two different sandwiches and two drinks. And he's got like this mobile code, scans it, and I look at what the code is for. And I'm just bracing myself to tell him the bad news because this particular code, which was, a buy one get one for $1 any breakfast sandwich doesn't work on one specific sandwich. All right, and guess what sandwich he decides to order? That's right, the one that doesn't work with the code. So when I go to pay him out, the computer tells me, "Hey, retard, pick a different sandwich. This code hasn't been applied." But I was like, okay, no big deal. These seem like some swell people. I'm sure they'll understand. As it turns out, they were not swell people, nor did they understand, because I'm telling them that this code doesn't work for this specific sandwich, and he starts arguing with me about it, like, well, it says here on the app it's for any breakfast sandwich. So I just tell him the computer will not physically let me put the discount on your order because that code does not apply for that specific sandwich. Now, he could have very easily acted like an adult and said, well, okay, I guess I'll get another sandwich for $1, which I get is like a lot for some people, but this dude is fighting me over this mobile code, so he can very obviously afford an extra dollar to his order. It's not that serious. Or he could have just as easily, gotten a different sandwich. You do not need that sandwich specifically, man. It's not that serious. Or he could have just gotten like a sandwich with the same contents and just asked for a different bun. I'm pretty sure the code would have applied that way. But he doesn't do that and instead decides to do what all great customers do when they don't get their way. They tell me to go get my manager. And so I'm over here like, alright, but my manager's going to tell you exactly what I told you. So I run to the back and I get my manager. And I guess people just expect managers to do everything short of giving them a fucking blowjob in the middle of the lobby if they ask for it. But welcome to the real world, pal. That's not how shit works. So I go to get my manager, and I also go to bring food outside to some cars that were pulled up from the drive-thru. And when I come back inside, he's fighting with my manager because, and you're not going to believe it, my manager told him exactly what I told him. That the computer will not physically let us apply that code because the code doesn't fucking apply for that sandwich. So he's throwing a fit about it, and I'm just standing there behind my manager watching him embarrass himself. And his wife is just standing by. I don't remember if she contributed to the conversation at all, but considering it was insignificant enough for me to forget, I'm just going to go ahead and say no. And so he decides that because we live in a functional society where you can't just get things by being a public nuisance, he needs my manager's manager, essentially. So he threatens to call corporate, and he's just demanding my manager's name. And let me just say this, threatening to call corporate is an empty threat, alright? You might as well have said you're going to shoot laser beams out of your eyes at me. And even if corporate took those complaints seriously, do you think I'd give a damn at all? Hell no. Oh, you're never coming back here? God forbid that this extremely popular establishment and company that rakes in billions of years loses one customer that day. Oh no. Goodness me. Now my manager was just not having any of it, so she leaves me to deal with him, which I had no problems with because this guy was not going to win this argument, alright? What the fuck did he want me to do? Give him the sandwich for free? Unfortunately for him, that's not how society works, because if everyone got stuff for free by being a man-child, then what's the point of even paying for stuff? So he's still sitting there, demanding my manager's name even after she left, and since I know that calling corporate is about as useless as trying to contact your distant relatives via paper airplane, I had no problem just giving him my manager's name to get him to shut up, Because I know nothing's gonna happen, alright? I can't even imagine what the phone call to corporate looks like. Hello, yes, I'd like to file a complaint. Okay, what's the problem? I went to one of your establishments today and they wouldn't let me use my buy one get one free mobile code. Okay, what do you want me to do about it? Well, I have the name of the manager. Hello? And that's how I expect that conversation to go. Honestly, what the fuck does this guy think corporate is gonna do for him? Believe it or not, the world does not revolve around you, and a company is not gonna make big changes just because one asshole decided to file a complaint. And I don't know what he expected to get with my manager's name. That information is about as useless as a stack of used condoms to anyone who works at corporate, which is why I had zero problem just giving him her name. And so after my manager left, I just asked him, "Are you gonna pay for the sandwiches then?" And he just goes, "Yeah." And so he pays the full $12 for the 2 sandwiches and 2 drinks when he could have easily just gotten an extra sandwich for $1 extra. You know, what a fucking genius he is. Clearly, someone did not pass the 4th grade math. Now, I could have also very easily, offered him the solution of just subbing in what was missing from that sandwich onto a different sandwich, and the code might have applied then, but I was not going to do that for him given by his attitude, alright? He was very obnoxious about it. So my manager comes back out a little while later after I'm done cashing them out, and she's got a paper with a phone number they can call. And if I wasn't so nice, I'd have just ripped the paper up and let them figure out the number by themselves. But they were still in the lobby, so I go to bring the paper to them. And I guess the guy was in the shitter since his wife was there waiting for him. And I'm sure he tore that bitch up just to make our lives a little bit more miserable. Because his life is miserable enough to where he gets mad at fast food employees when things doesn't go his way. So anyways, I give the paper to her and she's like, "What's this?" And I explain how that's the number they can call if they want to make a complaint. You know, they were talking big earlier just now about how they were going to complain to corporate, and I've pointed them in the right direction to do so. And on that paper, there was also the name of a specific person they could talk to, which was just beyond generous of us to help them out this far after their fucking tantrum earlier. And so she asked me, "Why is the name on the paper different from the name of the manager you gave to us earlier?" And so I'm just looking at her like she's got an IQ below room temperature, because I couldn't believe I had to explain the fact that my manager isn't a fucking software engineer working on the mobile app. She can't do anything about it, and that the person on the paper is the person you talk to if you want to complain. And now she's looking at me like I'm stupid because she can't comprehend the idea that my manager doesn't fucking work at corporate. And so she asked me the same fucking question again, and I think this is where she subconsciously realized that my manager's name doesn't actually hold any power just because they have it. So I explain it once more to her in fucking caveman terms, you know. My manager doesn't work at corporate. She can't do anything about the fact that the sandwich doesn't apply to that code. So if you want someone to complain to, there you go. And that's the end of that story. A riveting tale of a soccer mom and a guy who looks like he drives a Ford F-150, not comprehending the fact that fast food workers can't do shit about mobile apps not working the way they want it to work. And that's the main takeaway from this video. So if you're a person who gets mad over the fact that mobile apps don't work the way you want them to, just don't use it. And if you don't want to pay more for fast food because you're missing out on all the good deals on the mobile app, just don't go to fast food restaurants then. It really is that easy, believe it or not. But yeah, that's about it. Take it easy, everyone.